My artistic craft is, of course, the clay. And clay is the kind of art form that is so forgiving because you start out molding and forming it and shaping it into what you consider your ideal piece. So my craft is made from clay, and I can do all kinds of things with it, but my favorite of all are the masks, the ceremonies and the initiations that the masks represent. I do vase, and the vase tells a story. It's a lifestyle, it has cultural themes. And a lot of times I will have a piece that I have actually done poetry from. So the piece came first, and then the thought and the words and the poetry came later. My signature accomplishments would be probably the luminaire of that San Antonio Jazz. I did that in 2009. It was Giving Life and Light was the title of it, and it was sponsored by the Applause Foundation. That was a wonderful one-woman show. I did it at the Carver Culture Center, and I filled the room with my art, and I was surprised that I could. I also borrowed from some of my customers that had purchased my art, and so that made it very special because I had some of those special pieces in that. The other accomplishment that I love was the fact that I go to the high schools, the middle schools, and the elementary schools and do a workshop and demonstrations of my art and involve the young children, and to see their faces light up and be creative is a most rewarding thing. So I consider both of my accomplishments being that. The Martin Luther King Commission does a piece where they send us out to the schools, and I always love that. That's one of the greatest accomplishments. I guess the thing that motivates me to succeed is because I know that this is a God-given talent. I did not study formally for this craft. I had no one to instruct me initially on this craft, but I had mentors. But they looked at me as I did my work and said, you have natural talent, and natural talent to me comes from God. So what motivates me is that He has a plan for my life, and it involves this art and sharing. So that's what motivates me. Because it's a passion of mine. It fulfills another spiritual aspect of me as well. When I create, I can really get lost in thought and in therapy, and it brings back memories of great ancestors that were actually so proud and so real in their living and their lifestyle that I want to bring that to the forefront. Well, the impact that I would like for my art to have is a better understanding of the African culture, the meaning of the ceremonies and the rituals that they did, and to appreciate it in a way that would create pride in those that are their descendants. I have a feeling that most of us do not realize that our art is very special because it was not only something to look at, but it was useful. It was something that we adorn ourselves with, and I would like for it to be a mainstream type of art that I do. The symbols and the objects that I make, I would like for them to become readily seen in galleries and in mainstream shops, whether constantly create, and that is that you become a lifelong learner of your art, and align that with your passion. Align your goals with your passion. Well, yes, I do. In fact, I have one of the symbols that I like to use that's part of the vase that I've done there. And it's the bird that's looking around in back of her. to catch a lost egg. And what it means, it's never too late to turn around and start on a new path. And that's what I did, because it was late in life when I started this craft and this art of mine. And it's really been a turnaround for me.